Every time objects start moving or stop from moving, force is responsible. You meet forces all the time. Forces press on you and you use them to press on objects. It affects us. You can feel it when you walk on a windy day. When you ride in a car, a force pushes you against the seat when the car turns on a curve. In this lesson, we will deal with the different kinds of forces and how these forces affect the movements of objects. Have you ever played with a marble? Marbles can move if you give them a push. When a marble hits another marble, the other marble changes its position. Just like with the ball and the push cart. Force is simply a push or a pull that starts, stops, or changes the direction of an object. It is the action exerted by a body on another which is manifested in its motion. Before learning about the different kinds of forces, let me share to you some effects of forces on objects. First, force can transfer energy to an object to make it move. For example, when a man applies force to lift the handle of a pushcart and applies force to push the cart. Force is also needed to stop a moving object. For example, when the driver of vehicle steps on the brake to stop the car, and by applying force to the brakes, the vehicle could stop. When the driver of a car will step on the brake as he approaches the stoplight, this shows that force can change the speed of a moving object. When you exert force in tearing a paper, stretching a rubber band, and squeezing a rubber ball, the size and shape of these objects can be changed. Have you seen a flag being raised? Force changes the direction of the flag. When the rope is pulled, the flag raises. Force changes the direction of a moving object. As you ride a bicycle and move into a curve, you will have to exert force to change the direction of your bicycle. The strength of gravitational force depends on the amount of mass in an object and the distance between these objects. If the mass of both objects is very small, the gravitational force between them is extremely small. This force is also affected by distance. When objects are closer together, the force is greater, but as the distance increases, the gravitational force decreases. Take into consideration that for magnets, unlike poles attract, like poles repel. Magnetic force is also the force of attraction or repulsion that occurs between electrically charged particles. The magnetic force between two moving charged particles is the effect exerted by a magnetic field created by the other. Electric force exists between charged particles. Objects with different charges attract each other, and objects with the same charge repel each other. This force causes some objects to come together and others to stay apart. It holds particles together that make up matter. In the images, lightning shows that it has an electrical force. The image below shows that frictional force also affects falling objects. When you drop a rock and a feather at the same time, both objects yield to gravity. However, the rock reached the ground first because air friction affects the feather. When objects move through air, the motion is opposed by friction. The image above shows that the strong nuclear force holds the nuclear particles together, while the image below shows that weak nuclear force holds particles within protons and neutrons together. In neutron, the weak force is easily overcome. What you see in the images are the motorcycles that round in a racetrack and a car that moves in a circular motion. When the centrifugal force and centripetal force are balanced, they keep the objects moving in circular motion. Okay then, grade 6 Globalians. Force can start or stop an object to move. Similarly, humans have a driving force to do and achieve his or her goal. But one should not stop doing but instead be motivated to move and continue working to achieve goals in spite of friction or difficulties in life.